Hi, my name is Crystal Farley, 51 years old, Texas resident, and I am on the terrorist screening database list, the investigative list. My life is in extreme danger. This has been going on for at least 4 to 5 years. I have been trying for the last 2 years to get help from the Federal Bureau of Investigations and or local law enforcement agency, to no avail due to the people involved that have placed me on the terrorist watch list. Gina Mares and Homer Bosch are in a satanic cult, and they have selected me as their little blood kill. And I can't get help due to the money and influence and power that Homer Bosch and Gina Mares have, not only within the community, being able to get to certain people close to me, to say certain things, do certain things, but also our federal government. Like I said, this all started right after a divorce 4 to 5 years ago. Had a great 10-year marriage. We just simply grew apart. I never even raised my voice at this person. We got along well. She was my very, very best friend. We did everything together, joined at the hip. I just wasn't as sexually active as in 2 times a day that was required to keep my former spouse content. A honeypot was used in my divorce to, make me look bad because I fell for it, and to bust up really a good marriage outside of a few things. And a few things bad is in every marriage. Nothing is 100% perfect when you've been with someone for 10 years. I started noticing leading up to that divorce, after getting along so well, you've got your best friend, you do everything together, and I started noticing oddities, such as my ex had a big drinking problem and was drinking on and while taking low blood pressure medication. This person would pass out continuously, probably passed out 10 times from drinking on low blood pressure medication, and would fall on the concrete, blacken her cheekbone, bust up her nose, bust up a lip, bust up her chin. I caught those falls probably 3 or 4 times. Other times I did not, and you end up with scabs, bruising, and it looks like she got in a fight. And so for your best friend to say, I could tell people you did this to me, started throwing red flags. The other 2 instances where we were out in the country, out on a friend's land, and I had a utility vehicle, which is an ATV. Had 5 people on that ATV, which is too many. I made a corner with 5 people in it. It's a top-heavy vehicle, and it rolled. It rolled on its side. Out of the 5 people, she is the one that got thrown from that utility vehicle, got thrown underneath it, knocked her unconscious. Well, she tells the world that I actually tried to kill her. So somehow, with 5 people on that vehicle, she unfortunately was the one that got thrown out and hurt, but I was somehow able to just throw her out and have it roll just on her. That knocked her out, knocked her unconscious, telling people I tried to kill her. We were also involved in a home invasion. So I'm a victim of a home invasion. We helped sentence this man to 3 99-year sentences. There were 10 cases out against this. This was roughly maybe 14 years ago. So we moved in together right after this happened, due to us being fearful, living alone after such a traumatic incident like that. She goes around telling people, I staged this robbery, so I went out and got 2 guys off the streets to go out and rob 10 other people and us, hold us at gunpoint, so it would force us to move in together. So that's how I got her to move in with me, is according to her, is I staged some robbery. Right after our divorce, she posts a picture of our divorce decree. She's standing with it like a celebratory feat. She got a divorce from horrible, horrible me who never even raised my voice to this person, because she was going around telling people that she was scared to tell me where she was moving to and that she needed to buy a gun because she was afraid of me. I never even raised my voice to this person. So the smear campaign, which is common when you're on the terrorist watch list, started right as leading up to my divorce, 5 years ago. I get divorced. I'm working hard. My life I thought was going pretty well. I started suffering extreme pain. I was having fainting spells. I didn't know what was going on at the time. My son was having erratic behavior. He was calling me crazy, was saying I'm a schizo, was saying I'm mean, was saying I'm violent. Then I had issues at work pop up all of a sudden. In other words, all four walls of my house, my personal house, my professional house, started crumbling literally all at the same time, just like dominoes. Little did I know behind the scenes, there's a little orchestrator by the name of Gina Mares and Homer Bosch that were destroying my life systematically. Smear campaigns, trying to ruin me at work. Again, a 28-year stellar career where I was respected nationally for having integrity. I risked my job 2 times in a row. The first one, Fusion Connect. 2 women. One that reported to me was being sexually assaulted, unlike anything I've ever seen. The other one was being sexually assaulted, unlike anything I've ever seen in a professional corporate America environment. One of them is deceased now, mysterious circumstances. Nonetheless, the woman that reported to me quit her job prior to going to human resources with the issues of sexual harassment. Comes to me and says, I can't work here anymore. This is the reason why. I got it because I heard the abuse. I heard the abuse was going on from others. Saw the behavior firsthand myself. And as a vice president, I knew I couldn't work at that company any longer if I couldn't hire women and they couldn't be safe there. So I hired an attorney because the woman didn't have any money. The one that quit without a job lined up with no health insurance. She had no money. She couldn't afford an attorney. I could at the time. So I risked my career making $250,000 a year because I can't work here if I can't hire women. And I'm going to get an attorney. And through me getting an attorney, it allowed the woman working for me to get an attorney. It turns out this was a setup. This was all part of this master conspiracy that has been going on against me for years, that has caused me to lose $700,000. My home, I've had $50,000 worth of Crate and Barrel furniture stolen from me from Lucas Howard. I've had knives stolen from me that have been planted who knows where. I've had a gun stolen from me. I've lost clothes. I've been through 11 states. I've had air surveillance. I've had Black Hawk helicopter surveillance. It is disgusting what has happened to me. This work case with the woman being sexually harassed, I get an attorney. She gets $80,000 settlement. Crystal gets $12,000 settlement, which is nothing considering it takes six plus months, to find another job, which is about exactly how long it took. It was a setup. It was a setup to see if I would take her instance of her quitting before having another job lined up with allegations of sexual assault to human resources and do the right thing. I, of course, did the right thing. I took the incident to human resources, got it handled, let them know why the woman quit. She was being sexually harassed to the extreme, and I did the right thing. Had I not, and the woman being sexually harassed, even told me, I'm really glad that you handled that through HR and you saw that through, because had you not, I would have been able to sue you and ruin your career. They were betting on the fact that I would just have let her walk, brushed everything under the rug, and not handle business appropriately. That's not how I operate. I'm being treated otherwise, but that is not how I operate. 6 months go by. I'm trying to find another job. Within those 6 months, again, my walls, personal and professional, are crumbling. Crazy things are happening to me, and I can't quite figure out why. I land a job as vice president at Zayo Communications, working for a woman by the name of Lynn Tenney. I've got a team of 9 reporting to me, and I have a support staff that didn't directly report to me, but they kind of dotted line reported into me, getting a flood of complaints about Lynn D. Tenney, cussing at them, telling them to F off, saying that they are effing stupid, that they're not effing good enough for the job. Why the F are you even working here? I effing can't stand you. I've never seen someone act, talk, behave that way in corporate America in my 28-year career. I don't know what was worse, the sexual harassment or the verbal abuse that this woman was doling out on people on my team and the support staff. She turns her anger towards me, screaming at me, telling me all the same things. You effing did that wrong. You effing shouldn't be here. You don't know what you're doing. When in fact, she came in from outside of the industry, and it was her that didn't know what she was doing. I don't take abuse. I go to get another attorney. I wanted a severance package. I can't work in a place where I'm being verbally assaulted. I had 10 witnesses. Someone with the power was able to go to my attorney, was able to go to Zayo and spin the narrative somehow, despite me having almost 10 witnesses, that there is clear verbal abuse, that somehow I was the one being verbally abusive. I was the one that was being threatening to Lynn D. Tenney when I had 10 witnesses. So risking my career twice in a row for others and to protect myself, I get so screwed. Someone with power, Gina Mares, Homer Bosch, go and shut down my mediation that would have been a slam dunk, that would have given me money to go yet and find another job. Meanwhile, I'm seeing my psychiatrist for ADHD issues, and he's telling me, Crystal, this is going to keep happening to you. What are you going to do? Move to Finland? They got to my psychiatrist. They have been able to infiltrate every single person that I touch to ruin my life for what it would appear to be spiritual reasons. I get put on the TSDB list. I can't get a job. After having a stellar career and defending others, I haven't been able to get a job to support myself. As all of this is going on, I have a calamity of other things happening to me. Human rights campaign. I volunteer to be on their steering committee to help bring up membership levels. It's called the Federal Club. I go to a retreat for the Federal Club, and we're in a tiny home, stacked like cordwood. There's probably 30 people in a tiny home. You see that I talk with my hands. We're shoulder to shoulder in this tiny home, and I'm talking to a man and a woman, just chatting it up. She was extraordinarily intoxicated. She was the organizer for the retreat. She was in town from Washington, D.C., and I accidentally hit her breast. I grazed her breast. Well, she's so drunk, I apologized twice. Hey, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just hit your boob. Please forgive me. She didn't hear me the first time because she was drunk. I say it again. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I just hit your boob. Please forgive me. Well, that turns into Crystal getting kicked off the volunteer committee for the Human Rights Campaign, me having to speak to the attorney, Nicole Greenwich, who works for the DC office of the Human Rights Campaign, because I was accused of groping a woman and asking her if she had ever been with a woman before. So the lies about me are are just building up like everywhere. I couldn't even leave the house without someone drumming up some sort of BS lie to make me look scary, dangerous, a threat, can't control myself. I'm being set up in the most disgusting of ways, and had I joined the satanic cult, none of this would be happening to me. So I get kicked off the human rights campaign, move on to the next incident. I'm playing tennis with a group of ladies every Tuesday night. There's probably 30 of us out there doing drills. I played tennis competitively in college and used to be quite good. And at 49 at the time, was still able to hit the ball pretty hard. I hadn't played in 26 years. I was so proud of myself. I hadn't done anything healthy for myself in those 26 years. Getting back out on the tennis court for the camaraderie, for the exercise, for the challenge. And when you play tennis, and especially when you're doing drills, people get hit with tennis balls. So I got hit with a ton of balls out there because, one, people are, a lot of them were beginners and they couldn't necessarily aim correctly. Even if you're a rock star tennis player, you're going to accidentally hit somebody with a tennis ball. In my instance, I hadn't played in so long, I still had power and my accuracy wasn't the greatest. So yeah, I accidentally hit several people several times with a tennis ball. And in all the years that I played in competitive tennis, if I hit someone or someone hit me, I never said that they were mean or violent. So now the mean and violent is transferred to the tennis court with the Tuesday night tennis drills. I'm mean and dangerous because I'm hitting somebody with a tennis ball. All of this is going on. I'm having issues with my 22-year-old son, calling me crazy, calling me a schizo. Everything coming down at me once. They get to my freaking son to call me crazy, to call me schizo, to call me violent. That's the pattern. Getting people that knew me, that were close to me, to call me violent. I don't know if they're paying them in gift cards, paying them cash, if they're freaking selling their soul and they're demon possessed and they're doing this to bury me. I think it's one of all. I think it's a little bit of everything. I am in extreme pain during this time, in so much pain that I can't even type on my computer. I'm developing knots along my rib cage. I'm having extreme muscle atrophy. Pretty much in all of my body is cramping. My legs, my arms, my chest, my neck. I had a knot on the back of my neck about the size of a tennis ball. So large that when I went to get an MRI of this, the doctors had said they had never seen in their life a knot so big. It was such a scary incident that they had diagnosed me with rhabdomyosarcoma, which is a very, very deadly, fast-moving cancer. I didn't know what was causing this at the time, and it turns out what was causing this was directed energy weapons, a radiation device, and it was coming from my son. So someone, either within the occult or the Federal Bureau of Investigations, gave my son a handheld directed energy device that had just about severed my spine. I was seeing Baylor Scott and White in Plano, Texas at the time, and had to leave there because they were trying to control the narrative. They were refusing, despite me having 14 pins and 3 plates in my neck today, a scar here, a scar in the back from a previous cervical fusion 7 years ago. They weren't wanting me to have my neck looked at. They were only wanting to look for MS on my brain. I had to go out of network because they did not want me getting my neck addressed. And they were Dr. Michael Costello and Dr. Yao with Plano, Baylor, Scott, and White. So these people, Gina Mares and Homer Bosch, were able to infiltrate my doctors. So I go to a surgeon, Dr. Calvert in Dallas, Texas, takes an MRI, and doesn't know how I'm walking. If I showed you an image of that MRI, you will be able to see that the directed energy weapon that was being used on me by my 23-year-old son had just about severed my cervical spine. He was poisoning my food. He was threatening me with a gun. I couldn't get him to leave the house. Tensions were escalating. I tried to get him to go and stay with my ex. He refuses to leave the home. So I ended up calling the police on him. Guess whose side the Richardson, Texas Police Department take? I call the police. I ask them to turn on their chest cam when they enter my home, and they treat me hand on gun, not on their taser, not on their spray, hand on a gun. A 50-year-old woman who is in extreme pain, weighs 100 pounds, and they're treating me like the criminal when I'm calling them to my home to say that my son won't leave. He's threatening me with a gun. He's calling me crazy. He's calling me a schizo. I'm losing my mind because I have the Human Rights Campaign, the tennis ladies, the work stuff, people casually saying, I know who you are, I know what you are. I'm being set up as a pedo. I'm being set up as demon-possessed, going through the 11 states, and my ex, Lori Wright, people saying, you need to raise your vibe, your low vibration. I used to be known for having an infectious high vibration that people gravitated to. Yes, I was in a little bit of the dirt because of all the things that were happening to me. But when someone is low vibration, supposedly, that's when you're susceptible for demon possession. So they're wanting to paint the narrative, not only that I'm a adrenochrome drinking pedophile who hurts children, who hurts adults, who hurts her son, I'm also demon possessed. Gina Mares, Homer Bosch, whom have the authority to go to the government to impact local law enforcement, medical doctors, people around me. They have that power. I've been trying for 2 years to get the FBI, to get local law enforcement to take me seriously because my life is in danger. I have been run off the road. I have been threatened. I've had 2 abduction attempts, and no one will do anything about it because of the power that they hold. I go through 11 states, like I mentioned, trying to get away from the reinforcements that they send to either follow you, harass you, threaten you, and back up in Texas. Just penniless after a 28-year career as a vice president in the tech industry, known for my integrity, known for helping others, known for being a positive, uplifting person always, is getting treated like this. Someone who has helped others, someone that can go back and look at my yearbooks from school and see that I hated bullies and always wanted to help others. I'm being attacked for it. I'm being attacked by very wealthy individuals. I'm making these videos to try to get awareness so that maybe there is a good soul out there within the government, or a good soul that is an attorney that can help me, because I'm being set up to be killed as a satanic child sexual assaulting, adrenochrome drinking, all of the crimes that Homer Bosch and Gina Mares are doing, they are projecting onto me.